Okay, we're in business.
Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. Do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all.
Turn that a little bit back, okay?
Yep.
Hey, guys. We'll try to get through the agenda quickly because it's very, very hot. So, is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Motion to approve.
And the change was?
We need to add the authorization to sign the deeds for 60 West Street and 50 Chatterton Park.
Oh,
There's a resolution that Greg sent around to people today, but it's a very simple one, and we can read it when we get to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I also change and take the traffic and parking ordinance off and the animal control off because we are not ready? Ben was typing that one up and we have to meet one more time for the animal control, so we can skip right by them.
It's shortening things up.
That's right.
So we took off the parking and we took off the animals.
Anything else anybody wants to take off the list so we can just kind of pop it down? All right. Okay. All right. So is there a motion to approve the agenda with those amendments to it?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Okay. Review of the June 8th regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Oh.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. June 8th meeting minutes are approved. Open public comment. No one else is on?
No one else is on.
Okay. And we have a guest, Wayne Elliott from A&E Engineers, but I don't believe he's on yet.
I told him quarter after, so.
Okay, so we'll just move through the rest till he gets on, right?
Yep.
Okay. Does anybody have anything for good stuff? No one? Not a lot happening? The pool's going to be opening in July. I don't know if that's good stuff or not.
Yes, that'd be good stuff.
Yeah.
The town office renovation has started. There was a little hitch, but that was taken care of today. There were some water lines that were discovered in the foundation area. And that,
we found out that they actually were abandoned, so they're not a big issue. I think I stole some of your thunder, didn't I?
All right.
Judy,
Yes.
I know there was an article in the paper, but you might want to introduce Greg. He was in the last meeting and no one introduced him. So that might be good stuff.
Okay. So we have a new town manager. And I think all of us were on that call, right, when he was here last?
Yes.
Okay. If you want to just say.
Do you want to look at him?
Yeah, you want to see him? He's here.
Right there.
And I know it was in the Brandon Reporter, and I think the Herald contacted you because they called me today and asked me. So
yes, yeah. So no, I think everybody pretty much knows me. I'm Greg Maggard. I started last week. We'll be taking over full time, I guess, next week. Stan is still here to help me out if I have any questions. But excited to be here and can't wait to get going. And hope it cools down. I'm in Vermont, not Virginia.
I think the big thing is Greg is running the show right now, and I'm just sitting back and answering questions.
Perfect.
He will be responding to any telephone calls or emails, not me.
okay. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, Highway Department.
You've got your laundry list of things that they've been doing, and a lot of it is still cleaning up outdoors. Bruce, trees down, brush down from the windstorms. mowing. The roadside mower is supposed to be on this week so that they can start doing the other ones. But they've cleaned up a lot of guardrails as we go. The engine brake sign, John told me it was going to be up, but I haven't looked to see if it's there. So
By East Street Hill's up, I noticed.
What did you say, Tom?
The top of East Street Hill is, the sign's up, I noticed.
okay. So if anybody has any questions, no overtime for the last 2-week period. And again, potholes is the biggest one, especially the areas where we've dug up the pavement and have to be replaced. Well, that's on the list. It's just kind of early morning type work because it's hot mix. So
I thought Wilkes was gonna do some of those when he finished Chatterton Park.
I think I talked with John today, and there's Larson Street needs some patching because it's kind of rough in some of the other areas that weren't part of the actual construction project, but were in bad shape before, and the traffic had got just tied up some more of it.
You know, I don't think Chatterton Park's bad. I thought Wilkes, when he was doing Chatterton Park repair, he was going to catch North Street and a couple other little things.
Yes. But we talked about Larson this afternoon.
So they're going to do North Street too?
You're going to do your street?
North Street.
Oh, North Street? Yes.
Okay, good.
North Street, Grove Street, those are the two where he's dug up the pavement, has to be replaced.
Thank you.
Main Street sidewalk?
Okay, Main Street sidewalks. At the last meeting, I gave you the bids of $103,000. You suggested that I go back and talk to the state and also the contractor. In your packet is a email from the V-Trans saying, do what you need to do, but we want the warning plate put back on. So I called Ann Reed, and she said to add another 1,000. The letter that's in your packet from Ann lowered the price down to $78,493 with another 1,000 on it for the warning device. That makes it $79,493. The state is chipping in $31,500. So the town share is $37,993. We do have some money, as I said last meeting, in the reserve fund. We also have some in the highway improvement fund that's not designated at this time. And I would like to suggest that we proceed ahead with this contract for $79,493.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. It's approved at $79,493.
Traffic is out of there.
Right. Anything else for old and new business on highway?
That's 79,000. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
All right. Is there a motion to go into the Board of Water Commissioners?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Stan?
I think as far as the Public Works, Chris and John and Greg and I met and went through our laundry list of projects that we had hoped to get accomplished this year, setting priorities and how long it's going to take to do them. We ran out of time, but Chris and John were going to come up with a list of what we need to get done. There is quite a few, both water, wastewater, and highway programs. that would be done with the current staff or with the contract for an excavator. So hopefully we will have a list that we can get to you so you'll know what we're headed out to. As far as contract 6, we had the substantial completion walkthrough last week. And very little has to be done. There is some miscellaneous maintenance items that need to be taken care of. So we're signing the substantial completion, and the engineer will be completing the record drawing with all the curb stops tied in so we can find them hopefully in the future. Change order number 2 is in your packet, and I think I referenced this at a prior meeting. This is the one for the Davis-Bacon prevailing wage rates. The fact that we did not award a contract within 90 days made us susceptible to a new issuing of a Davis-Bacon prevailing wages, which they did in January. But contract number 2 is the difference between what was actually paid and what they should have been paid. In the bid documents, it specifically spells out that if there is a change in wage rates during construction, the owner has to pick up the tab for them. The amount is $14,720.21. If you'll note at the bottom of the change order, stamp at the bottom by Don Haddock, saying this will not be eligible for the loan money because we should have been able to get it done within 90 days. The reason for the delay was in dealing with easements all the way through, and some of it on my part for not getting onto it quick enough. So what I'm asking for is approval of change order number 2 in the amount of $14,720.21, and included in this a time of 7 days to pick up a lot of loose ends so that the completion date is now June 28th, 2020.
Is there a problem with that date?
What's that?
Is there a problem getting to that date?
No.
Okay.
I mean, Belden has moved out. They've cleaned up the parking lot. All their equipment's gone. And the things they've got are cosmetic type things that need to be addressed. So they should have no problem getting that done by the completion date. And the discussion at the substantial completion meeting centered around the no need to do another walkthrough for final completion. Du Bois and King and John can go, or Greg also can walk through it to be sure that everything that was on the punch list has been taken care of. And then we will do a final completion.
Does anybody have any questions?
I do. Where's this extra 14,000 coming from? Where are we taking it from?
If you remember, I think I've mentioned before, is we didn't have enough money to fund contract 6 completely in the loan availability, bond availability. That's when we voted at town meeting to move money from the timber sales at Chittenden into this construction account. So this would come out of the money that's in that pocket.
Okay, thank you.
And what you need, and what I need to get you, is an updated project cost summary that shows where we're at.
Anybody else have any questions?
No.
Is there a motion to approve the change order number 2 for the $14,720.21?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No one opposed. Okay. Contract 7?
Contract 7, you have in your packet a bid tabulation and the bids for the East Side Reservoir demolition. And Licky has withdrawn their bid. I called them immediately after the bid opening because of the disparity between their bid of 8,500 and the next one of 19,450. The person I talked to was not completely familiar with it, but the question I asked is whether they were handling the paint chips to be removed and disposed of as hazardous waste. That's spelled out in the bid documents that the contractor is responsible for proper disposal of any chips. The people I had talked to about this during the bidding phase was that they were going to put a membrane down around the tank, and anything that fell on the membrane would be wrapped up in the membrane and taken to a hazardous waste disposal site and properly disposed of. I believe, I didn't talk with Licky, but I believe that maybe where they didn't have that included in their package. So they have withdrawn their bid, so I would recommend award for the East Side Reservoir demolition to Costello Dismantling at $19,450. And of course, Richard Reed was right close behind him.
So have we ever used this Costello? Because they're not from here, they're from Massachusetts.
Yes.
Why did Nicky withdraw his?
Why did he withdraw it?
Yeah.
Because it was so low.
I think they didn't fully understand the entire scope of the project and
Okay.
the requirement that they had to.
That because of the paint chips, it would just raise it that much higher.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not getting all my emails on that phone. So let's see if I can get here.
Also, I actually talked to Ricky Reed earlier today. He stopped me when I got home. And he made a suggestion, if he didn't get the bid, that this project be held off to colder months like winter because of the taking down of the metal, potential sparking and fires.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to put that out there to everybody. And it's almost, I mean, he was probably doing it as a plug-in for himself because if it was winter, his bid would have been a lot lower because he's not busy then. But he just had made the suggestion to us that that might be a wise idea. And it does make sense, especially the way things are now. But I don't know if that would make a difference.
I myself would rather have somebody, at least from Vermont, do this. I mean, we're in the middle of, COVID is still going on, one. And two, I think it would better help our economy in Vermont than, I would rather use somebody more local. So if that makes any difference to anybody else.
Yeah, the bid specs do say the select board can reject any and all bids. They can award it what they feel is the most beneficial to the town.
I make a motion, we put this off till bidded in October, August, and for like late September, October removal.
Motion to rebid.
Is there an urgency to get this down?
It's part of the water project. The big issue is our lease with OMIA says it will be removed. So there's just one more thing on the water project to get accomplished.
Right. But they don't give you a specific date, right?
No, it just has
Okay.
to be removed.
I'm kind of in the agreement of putting it off too, for a couple of reasons. One, because I think that Ricky has a valid point. And two, I'd just like to see where we come out as a town because of this COVID. I mean, we're not really seeing a lot right now, but tax bills aren't due. Water bills aren't due. want to make sure that we have the money there.
So, Tom, did you make a motion to put off bidding until the end of the summer, August?
Yes.
So,
Is there a second?
so I'll
to that?
second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
I guess, it might be, put a footnote, if you would, Lisa, is that for cost reasons.
Right. Budget reasons.
Budget reasons.
Yep.
Correct, budget reasons.
All right. R3, accept.
Okay, we need to do, and I think it's in your packet, a authorization for Greg to become the authorized representative on behalf of the town. And this is just a pro forma type. Judy is, I think, listed as the alternate, but that we aren't changing that, so it doesn't make any difference.
Is there a motion on the floor to approve Greg to?
So moved.
All right. Second. Is there a second?
Yes. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approved.
We'll get to
Was he on there?
wastewater, which is where we're headed, and we'll talk to him under that one.
All right,
This
so. Anything else under water? Is there a motion to go out of water and move into sewage, commissioners?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, you want to hook them in now?
We got two Chad coming in too.
We're getting Wayne Elliott now.
Hey, Stan.
You there, Wayne?
Yeah, how are you?
Okay, we deferred you, but we're at the appropriate place in the agenda, which is the state revolving loan program for final design services for the Willow Street Pump Station Service Area reconstruction. The total amount of the requested loan is $79,400. The estimated total project cost is $1,475,000. The breakdown of the $79,400 is $71,900 for engineering, $5,000 for legal, because we're going to be doing lots of easements, I think, and then administrative, which is just picking up some of the costs associated with it, like advertising, public meetings, those types of things. One thing with this is that the final design phase, if you don't proceed with the construction of the project, you have to repay 50% of this at a 0% interest rate. So it's not a big financial hurdle, but it'll sort out what we need to do. I think maybe if Wayne could just go through what we are looking at for the project.
Yep. So as Stan mentioned, because the town went through the QBS process, anything up to that $79,400, you qualify for the 50% loan subsidy. So worst case, again, if you didn't go to construction, the town would be on the hook for half of that over 5 years at 0% interest. We have submitted the engineering services agreement to the state for review. They look at the scope of services, make sure it's appropriate. They also look at the level of effort and make sure everything's in there and the hours and all that are reasonable. Basically, the reason that we're kind of moving in this way is we've really had a lot of difficulty dealing with the railroad. Any of the work within the right-of-way has to be done by an exclusive contractor called Engineers Construction. We tried to work with them through the planning. We do have some pretty heavy conservative allowances in there. They weren't very helpful at the time. So kind of by proceeding to final design, the hope is that we can get them involved and tighten up those numbers better. So we hope we're conservative, but once we get some better numbers, the plan here is so the town would have the choice to go to a bond vote in November of this year, that you would have that option, or you could do March of 2021. So that's something, the objective here is that you've got enough information and updated cost and everything in, September timeframe so that you can make that choice or decision and you have that option. One of the other reasons that's kind of good news for this, there's a lot better funding freeing up for this. So as of July 1st for this type of project from the state, for the construction side, you'd be looking at 40% loan forgiveness up to $2 million. And the other reason why some communities are kind of moving forward with projects, that there's still rumors of some stimulus funds coming out for infrastructure over the next couple months. So that's something we're also paying very close attention to. So, projects like this that are ready to go, into the design, ready to go to bond vote, are going to be a lot more favorable, because a lot of that money is obviously geared towards, protecting jobs and keeping people working here over the next, 12 to 18 months.
Anybody have any questions?
Wayne, have you met our new town manager that'll be taking over shortly?
Yes, I have. I actually worked with Greg in Bethel for about 6 weeks. We had a pretty sizable water project, Tom, and so I started with Greg there in 6 weeks, and then of course he left to take to move back and continued on working with Therese Kirby. But yes, I have worked with Greg, so I do know him, and he's familiar with us too.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Sure.
I don't have any more questions. Stan? Did we lose Stan?
But he stopped.
Can you guys hear us?
We can now.
All right, my connection.
I can now.
Stable.
Oh, my internet connection is unstable.
Uh-oh.
Must be the heat.
Gary, can you hear me?
I can.
I would move that we move ahead with this.
I don't know where we're headed right now.
Just want to make sure we're.
You got any ideas?
On mine at home, I have to go up to a thing and click on it.
I think they're still having internet troubles.
Stan, we lost you again, I think.
Nothing?
No picture. We can hear you talking.
I have a picture, but it's frozen.
Where to go from here?
Neither. There's no refresh button. What's that? What is that?
Uh-oh. Now we're looking at the black screen.
What is it?
It's a question
It's
mark.
your assistant. Okay, no, it's okay.
Ain't technology great?
Office.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the middle of
I
a
don't know. I
thunderstorm,
think we're
and
just-
I'm not sure how long my
slow
connection's
right
gonna
now.
go either.
There's like a year.
Just got their air conditioning on 7.
Right. It could be the heat that's causing the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Maybe
Can anybody hear at all?
Yes.
I can hear you.
go to the phone.
We can
But the
hear you.
picture
We
is
can't
frozen.
see you anymore, but we can hear you.
We have a mechanical difficulty that you can't hear.
I'm gonna let's see if Bruce or somebody can reach one of the other ones. To see if they're all off or the other one's off.
I think it's only you that's off. Everybody else we can see and hear, I believe. I think Wayne might have left. Oh,
Yeah.
there's Wayne. He's back.
No, I'm fine. I'm just sitting in the middle of a thunderstorm here.
Be careful.
I'm gonna come in a second. You may have to open me.
Okay.
Have to give me the bill. 9397.
They're all frozen place, aren't they?
Your call is being transferred.
Happens to me at home.
Should be coming into you right
Okay,
now.
what I'm gonna do is
Well-
share host with you.
Somebody's calling you. I'll go answer it. Stand
Okay.
around.
Yeah, I should be there.
Judy, it's Tom.
Can any of you hear me?
I can.
Okay,
Okay.
we're hearing everything you're saying. We just don't see you. Not yet.
Okay. I've got it. They can hear us.
I can see Greg.
Okay. Why don't we just play right here? Okay, we're just gonna continue on this.
Sure.
The only thing is we can't let Charlotte in.
We can't let Charlotte in? Charlotte, can you hear? Oh, she's muted.
I can see Charlotte in there, but her mic was off. And we have a feedback problem too.
You have a what problem?
That's because we're together. Why don't you restart your computer?
What's that?
Go ahead and restart.
Restart? Okay.
Yeah. And turn it, maybe mute.
Charlotte says she just doesn't have a camera. She's here.
Oh, okay. So she's
She's
on.
texting.
So he,
Maybe she
Greg-
told you about.
Greg's is the issue. The feedback
Did it
is
just go out?
I would.
whoever's mic is open has to turn it off.
I don't want to, just leave. I'm leaving the meeting.
yeah, leave the meeting.
Say goodbye.
And Greg needs to turn his mic on if Stan's leaving.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
see you and hear you. Yes.
We can proceed, but Stan's going to try to get back in because he's the host. But we can keep going here if you want
All
to,
right.
Judy.
So was there a motion to approve going forward with the funding application?
I think Bruce did make
Yes.
that
You
motion.
guys cut out then, I think.
Yeah, we
So-
lost the last 5 minutes.
Okay, so Bruce made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Stan, did you have anything else for the sewage?
No.
No? Okay. Is there a motion?
Let Ted get in when you go back into regular sessions.
Right, right. So is there a motion to go out of sewage and back into the regular meeting?
So moved.
Who's this, Stan?
Thank you. You can let Ted in. Is Ted not
I
in?
can't let anybody in.
Oh,
Ted
yeah.
is in.
Oh, he is? Okay. All right.
Yeah, Ted's in.
There's Ted right there.
Okay.
And Charlotte doesn't have a camera.
Right.
So I think we're okay.
Okay.
I think we're okay.
So Stan's got on the agenda standing committee reports.
Thanks. Good night.
Did you want to run down?
Wayne, thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Greg.
Stan, was there
Yes,
any
take care.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
particular order you had?
You know, it's just, Park and Rec,
Okay, so I'll start with Parks and Rec, and the only thing is we met up at the pool and went over the standards for COVID-19, and the pool will be opening, and I think everybody pretty much in town knows that, on July 2nd. And limited capacity being checked at the gates. There will be food served. They'll be having masks and gloves on. The raft is not out in the pool yet. We're checking to see if it's going to be or not. The docks have been repaired. There's going to be the 6-foot separation, and trying to keep kids at bay. And I think they've pretty much got it under control. They're wiping down bathrooms, docks, slides, everything periodically after use.
That
And
sounds
there's
great.
no passes.
Proctor.
Right, Proctor residents only
Right.
and families, members. Any questions?
Intel manager's family, right?
Huh?
Intel manager's
yeah.
family, right? Okay.
Not if you're not.
Yeah, right.
That's great. That's a lot of extra work, though. That's nice.
Okay.
It is, yeah. But
Can I
it's
bring my
supposed to be-
granddaughters to the pool
Yeah.
from out of town?
Huh?
Can I bring my granddaughters to the pool from out of town?
If they've quarantined for 2 weeks.
They're Vermonters.
No, I think that's okay.
Yeah, I
That's
think
fine.
it's, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, solid waste?
I don't have anything to report. They're off until September, so everything that I have to report, Stan's already put out to everybody.
Okay. How about anything on Beaver Pond?
It's up and running. I didn't go to last Beaver Pond meeting because I had another meeting. Tom, did you go?
Yes, just a work day, a few hours on Saturday. We're up and running, as Carrie said, and we are getting a lot of use.
Yep, looks really nice down there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Am I back on?
Yeah, turn your mic off, somebody.
I am.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
We should be. Why am I still on? I'm going to log out. That's the problem.
Anybody else have any committee reports?
Are we echoing?
Yeah.
Yep, we are.
Planning Commission, we're gonna hit that just down here, a couple more lines, so I'll wait.
You met this last week, didn't you?
For the first time, yes, since
Yeah.
since this
Okay.
mess, yep.
All right.
In the park, and everybody enjoyed it, and I think we'll do it again.
Okay, that's good. Anybody else having meetings that they've gone to? Bruce?
I attended the district, mosquito district meeting. They've had a change in the treasurer. We have a temporary treasurer at the moment, but they are unsure whether they are going to get the entire amount that from the state. The state is working on a 90-day budget cycle, so they got, I believe, $17,500 to carry through till September 30th, but they're not sure about the remainder of the original amount of $75,000. So this is not good timing, but the state doesn't know whether they're going to give out the rest of it, and they won't know till maybe early September. So it's questionable whether they'll be able to get sufficient supplies. It's been good that it's been exceptionally dry, so they did do the spraying on the north end of the town the other night, but I haven't, they weren't sure what their schedule was going to be because of some funding. So hopefully they're going to get it. They did get $2,000 from the Lake Dunmore associations, but everything's kind of up in uncertain terms for the moment.
Okay, thanks, Bruce. Anybody else? Okay, we'll go into our other items. The first one's reviewing the bills.
I think you want to do the citizens' comment. You got Ted and Charlotte
Oh,
on.
I thought he was just gonna be down here.
No,
Ah,
I
what
lost you
geez.
again.
I'm here.
Yeah, do Ted now. Sullivan.
Okay. All right, I thought you had that someplace else on the agenda too. Maybe not.
I
Okay,
didn't know about it.
so Ted, do you want to make comments?
Okay, so here's what I found out. I tried East Coast Garbage. They are not particularly interested. There was an article in the paper on Saturday, the Herald. Zach Kavakis, who grew up in Proctor, now lives in Stockbridge, and he's interested in starting a business that will pick up garbage and food scraps. I did find out that the anaerobic digester up in Salisbury, which I was kind of going to depend on, will not be open until September 1. So that is out for the time being. I asked Zach if he would bring a truck to the Proctor transfer station on Saturday morning, say from 10 to 12, and have stuff, have people come and deliver their 5-gallon buckets at a cost of anywhere from, say, $1 to $5, and drop it off to him. He does have a few places that he can get rid of it. I thought he had a viable business plan. He will have permits in line by a week from tomorrow, so that he can pick up garbage, food scraps. I thought a route through West Rutland, Proctor, Pittsfield, Brandon on the way to Salisbury might be a viable business plan for him. But there really is, it's really up to the individual. And I don't know whether the town would want to conduct some kind of survey among its residents to see what interest there is in any kind of plan. I went out and bought a $14 countertop, receptacle for my food scraps, coffee grinds, etc., and a composter at a cost of $74. And it seems like a reasonable option for me. I'm not a huge gardener, but I do have vegetables. And I think, as I drive around town, I see a lot of people with vegetable gardens. And so I think there'd be a lot of composting. I think other people with garbage disposals will probably just put it down their garbage disposal. Other people are going to just not worry about it and put it in their garbage, which they're not supposed to do. But I think the town should run some kind of interest query about, maybe responding online. I don't know how to communicate it to the people of the town. The next mailing, perhaps. But I think we'll find people dumping it or just leaving it in their garbage and leaving this, the mandate of the state, in the dust, kind of not really interested in it.
What are you proposing that the survey ask?
Just of residents, like what are your plans for complying with the July 1 law from the state? Are you going to compost? I bought my composter and countertop receptacle, but you can buy an anaerobic digester, which you bury 2 feet into your lawn, and you throw your stuff in there, and it basically about every 3rd year you have to empty out what little there is, but it basically takes all of the liquid out and puts it back into your soil. It's not composting. You can put bones, meat, etc. in that. In composting, you have to take meat, fish, bones out. It's mainly for vegetable scraps. You do have to add brown matter, leaves, grass clippings, twigs, things like that. What the options are? Would you like a hauler? Would you like something at the transfer station that you could bring your bucket up on Saturday morning? Would you like to bury it in your backyard, or other? And I don't know how to get to communicate it to the residents, but I do see occasional mailings from the town, and perhaps that could be something. Our web lackey could put on a survey, with a multiple choice answer, and see what the interest is in the next 90 days or so, and then take action from there.
Does anybody have any input or comments about the whole composting and your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to try it. You need, it's a little bit tricky. You have to have like 3 times as much brown matter as you do green matter. You need to throw soil in. It's got to be the right amount of moisture. If it gets too wet, you get one problem. If it's too dry, you get another one. It's supposed to take all the yearly waste from a family of 4 in a composter. I don't know whether they're in zone 3 where, it gets really cold in the winter. I do have a southwest exposure on my house, so I can keep it fairly warm in the winter, I think. If you're composting well, you should not get snow on it. If you drive by a farm and you see the giant tarps over the cow manure with the tires, there's never any snow on it. So when that kind of heat is being generated, you're composting. So that's what I plan to do.
I'm just thinking if you want to get people's opinions on what they're going to do, I don't see putting the time and the effort into doing that, what the end result is going to be. We're just going to find out that somebody's bringing it to Rutland, somebody's tucking in their garbage, somebody's getting a composter, and it's not going to be consistent. And I'm not saying people shouldn't compost. It's going to be a lot of work, and the people who already do it will probably do it. And there's going to be people who definitely will not do it.
I agree.
So I just want feedback from the board as far as what do you think in terms of putting time and energy from the town into this, when the end result is it's going to be up to each homeowner to figure out what they have to do with the compost. Not
would they like an option where there is a place where you can take it in town on Saturday morning for a couple hours?
Okay,
If
and they
you got
pay for
100
it themselves?
If you got 100 people at $2 a piece, it might make it worthwhile for that guy to come and take it.
Right, so they're paying for it, correct?
Right. Where the town, it costs the
Okay.
town nothing in that case.
And my feeling is if that person's going to do it, that needs to be part of his marketing strategy.
Exactly.
That's up to him to find his customer base.
Yeah.
I just don't think the town should become overly involved in this. It's not something that we can offer. It's up to the town resident to figure out what to do. Just like if you have a washing machine and it breaks down and you get a new one, you have to figure out how you're getting rid of your old one. I can't call the town and ask them to get rid of my old one. I have to figure that out. I just think that we're going to have to see what residents do. I mean, we're not the only town that's dealing with it either. Everybody's dealing with it.
Would you permit a private hauler to come to the transfer station on Saturday mornings?
I think we'd have to look at the liability of having somebody that isn't a town employee to be down there.
But that's something that he could come to the select board and we could talk about. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to see his business plan first.
Okay. I will take all of that as a no.
I think that you're going to find too that the Rutland County Solid Waste District is looking into some options because it needs to also be more viable than shipping it like the Solid Waste District is now. So I think you're going to see the Solid Waste District start looking at options and how to pay for those options with grant money, hopefully.
Does anybody else have any comments? So Ted, I guess if you talk to Zach and he has a marketing plan or business plan and it's, kind of solid in place, what is he proposing to Proctor as well as other towns?
Okay, if he's interested, I will have him contact the select board and make his proposal to you.
Okay, thank you,
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Trella, do you have anything you want to add?
She said no. She texts. If you can
Oh.
see on the side, she was texting. She said no, she has
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay, perfect.
She
Thank
said
you.
thank you to Stan.
You're welcome.
Okay. So next, reviewing bills and signing them. Has the total changed? Still.
The total has changed because we had some more invoices come in after I put them out on Friday. So the number now, instead of being 196,622.18, is 219-11712. The issues that came in was paying for the repair of the dock at the pool, which is coming out of the Proctor fund. The other one was the Pat McLaughlin's work up on Park Street in reconnecting the 4 services that needed to have internal work. And then there was some other small ones that were onto it. So the number is there. The listing that Judy has here has all this amount of money in it.
I have a question. What was the bill for TW Grace?
That was for topsoil, seed, and fertilizer for the 5 service connections that we had to hook up. When I put out the
Okay.
request for bids, I put out for plumber and for excavator operator. I did
Okay.
not put in the bid money for topsoil, seed, and fertilizer. We talked with Tommy because he was doing the excavating for McLaughlin, and he took care of the 5 places where we had to go in and do some work.
Okay, perfect. Then my other question is, there's a lot of FW web. Is that all connected to contract 6? Or is
Yes,
that, okay,
that's all the pieces that Pat ordered in order to do the work. He also, which is not in this list, is about a $900 refund or credit for stuff that he took back. That one hasn't been processed yet.
Anybody else have questions? You looking for another motion to have me sign them, or do we make that a standing?
I think it's a standing motion that you made to authorize Judy to review and sign off on them. And she comes in and she looks at every one and she adds up all the numbers to make sure the math is correct.
That's right.
Without a calculator.
Good girl, Judy.
Right. Facilities use agreement for the rink, Furnace Brook, Wesleyan Church. Does everybody have that?
Judy, you're on the rec committee. One of the reasons the rink gets used is the bathrooms, the good parking, the space over there. Do we need to add a cleaning charge to this now? I'm hoping somebody comes in after they use this and does a little bit of cleaning.
Yeah, I feel that if we're letting some of our facilities use to outside sources, that we should charge a rental fee. Especially now, because so much is put into every effort when, somebody's using things.
Exactly, yes.
The costs just go up. So,
Well, somebody on the rec committee must be doing some cleanup afterwards.
right. And it's their
Opening the building and closing it up and cleaning. Yes, I think we do need to get a fee for that.
And is this just a one-time? Because I saw.
This is just a one-time. They are trying a number of different facilities for their worship services.
Okay.
yes, they lost their place because of COVID. So my question is, who currently is cleaning this? Is it Megan, or is it, I don't think it's had a lot of use lately, but who
Yeah, it's
currently?
usually the Canucci's.
Okay, so I absolutely don't want it to be a cost to them to have to clean it, or them just to be responsible for cleaning it. So I agree that maybe some kind of cleaning fee on here.
I suggest we put a $100 cleaning fee on it. I don't think we should spring it on the Wesleyan Church at this time. But
Correct.
Anybody in the future, I think we should charge $100 too, as a cleaning fee.
So you don't think we should charge a church?
Well, we're kind of
This one.
springing on them at the last minute here.
Well, we could also just deny their use agreement.
Oh, you're going to hell, Judy.
I'm going anyway. It doesn't really
I don't
matter at
think
this
we-
point.
They'd request a waiver anyway.
I don't think to
That's the
deny
least of
their-
my worries, Tom. I just don't want to get back like, okay, we didn't charge them a cleaning fee and we're going to charge the next person a cleaning fee when it's the same usage, you know?
Right, but it's not really fair to say to them, oh, like a week, not even a week before this service, hey, we're not going to charge you $100.
So maybe we ask them if they have volunteers at the church willing to come in after and clean.
I think that would be a better option.
That sounds fair to me. And from now
Would you be willing
on,
to
going
maybe do a
forward, we
deposit
will
as
charge.
opposed to a-
Well,
There is.
plus if it's a deposit, regardless, it's like, it's going to have to be cleaned because of COVID. You know, like if they didn't damage or make a mess, then you give the deposit back, but we're doing it more of
you're doing full
sterilization.
sanitizing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's my take
Sure.
on it anyway.
Sure.
Definitely.
And that's still, regardless of how well
So-
they do, they're still going to
Right.
do it again.
And if we're going to do that, we need to change this facility use agreement to state such.
Right.
Maybe that should be scheduled as well.
You know, the facility use of form does have a spot for a deposit for use of it, and then return of the deposit if everything is good.
Right, but we need a charge on there, that this is the charge for cleaning. We need to update it, because just giving them back their deposit,
Right. So
how do
instead
we
of-
know if they cleaned it properly either?
Right, so under security deposit it says, although there's no rental fee charged for the use of facility, users will be required to pay the town a security deposit. We should say they're required to pay the town a cleaning deposit,
Yes,
or a cleaning fee,
a cleaning fee,
not
And-
deposit.
and maybe it should also say something about, in case something is broken.
Yeah, and well, we could
Have
do,
the-
like,
yeah.
we could actually do a security deposit and a cleaning fee.
Yes,
And the security deposit would go back if nothing's damaged. The cleaning fee remains ours.
right, that's what I would like to see.
Okay. Everybody in
Anybody
agreement to that
Yes.
going forward?
So we'll
Yeah.
also have to change, if you have a fee schedule. I don't know that there's a combined fee schedule that shows all the fees that the town assesses.
Right, I don't think,
We don't have, okay, well then that's just one additional step we don't have to worry about.
okay. Yeah, because we can just come up with, I mean, was it $100 for cleaning?
And I wouldn't even call it plan, I just call it facility rental, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think it should be, for everyone, you know, even residents, because, you know, it should be cleaned after.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
So
everybody's okay with that?
that being said, that means that we're gonna pay the $100 this weekend too, correct?
No.
What do you mean, no?
Well, because it's a town function. It's like us. It's our,
Right, but somebody still has to clean it.
oh, yeah, but I think we'd
So
all
we
chip
should-
in with paying
We
$100.
should pay her to clean it at least.
You guys give me $100, I'll clean it.
You can, as a select board, you can waive that fee as well, certain
Sure.
circumstances.
Right. Just take it out of Stan's last paycheck.
Oh.
Perfect.
Oh, no, come on.
Not laughing.
He didn't say no, Bruce. He didn't say no.
All right, so is there a motion to approve the facility use agreement for the church?
So moved.
Second?
Is that the correct?
All in favor?
date on it?
I,
And then we'll change and amend the facility use agreement to add the fee, a rental fee.
that'd be great.
All right.
And
If you want to establish an amount right now, have you established?
Well,
an
we said
amount?
100. Is that good? I mean,
there's just two
thing is, like,
bathrooms.
okay, when I was at the college and we rented out facilities, it was based on who was there, what they were renting. Because if I had a group, like for, say, using the mansion, the Clementwood Mansion with 10 people for a baby shower, it was different than when I had, 100 people renting, or like 500 people renting the gymnasium out for the weekend.
So is
So-
this something that our new town manager could come up with so we can look at it for the next meeting maybe, and then
Like a
we can
fee.
say yes, no?
Like you said.
I'm actually thinking about putting together a fee schedule.
Okay, yeah, that would be better,
Okay.
I think. Don't you think? Because then we could
That-
Because what we actually can do, that'll have all the fees that we assess for
Yeah.
everything, and you would approve that as at one time.
Right,
Just be
right.
done with it.
Okay, sounds good.
And if you wouldn't mind, Greg, just kind of peruse the whole agreement.
What do you say?
So
What?
what time?
Take a look at the whole agreement and
Okay.
see if anything else might need updating in it.
As a placeholder, I'm gonna put $100 in there for this facility though, right?
Yes, please.
Comfortable with that? Okay.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Renewal of the liquor license for Franklin's. Is there a motion to approve that?
So move.
Second? I hear a second?
Yes, second.
Who's moved- Yeah, there you go. I'm like, who moved it? 'Cause
All in
both-
favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
license renewal approved. Okay, zoning administrator.
The planning commission met last Thursday, interviewed Erica Bernier. I believe I sent out her resume as a separate attachment.
Yes.
She is the chair of the Wallingford Zoning Planning Commission and Design Review Board, so is familiar with this type of thing. Maybe Tom can speak to it because he was there.
Yes, she's seems to be more than qualified. She's interested in the job, which is basically the only one that we have approached so far that is. And we'd like to hire her for a year interim, just to make sure she's happy, we're happy. And we felt that trying someone outside of town with no ties to neighbors or relatives here would be worth a try for a while.
I know her from RRPC. I think she's a great selection. She's a great person for the job, I think.
She has a strong personality. She's certainly not afraid to say no.
She is not.
I worked with her at the college.
Did you? Yes, she had mentioned she was at the college, yeah?
Yep. Yes. So
Okay,
is there a
there.
motion to approve Erica Berner for a one-year position?
Just appointment as an interim,
Okay,
and then the time can go whatever.
all right, as an interim for a 1 year?
So
moved.
moved.
I did talk with her about compensation, and she suggested $25 an hour
Okay.
and be on the time clock similar to what we've got with the assessors, where we pay by the hour for any time that they put onto it.
Is that comparable to them?
The lister is getting $65 an hour, the assistant assessor is getting $35 an hour.
Okay.
She suggested 25, and I think, Tom, she said she would do all of the paperwork for any of the zoning board adjustment meetings, and I'll take care of all the advertising and the preparing the mailing. She knows how to do it.
Okay.
She did say that. And then she
Right.
looked,
The only question I have, and I need to talk with Celia, as to whether to hire her as a consultant, which is what we do with Lisa Wright. So they is not on the payroll.
Right,
It comes out of her part of the wage. 25 is she self-employed.
Yep.
And she's reporting it as self-employment income.
if that's a better route to go.
yes.
Okay. So we started with a motion to approve her as a interim, $25 an hour as a consultant. And the motion was made by,
Bruce and I both said at the same time, so
Okay.
either one.
all right.
Yep.
So
Whatever.
Gary made the motion and Bruce, you seconded.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Since I'm on the planning commission, I won't vote on this one.
Okay. I'll vote to approve it. Okay. Sullivan Powers engagement letter.
This is the same basic letter that we see every year. We've renewed it, I believe, 7 times now. Some people like to go out and interview with listers or auditors on a random basis. They've done a good job for us as far as I'm concerned. Their price for this one is $16,800, which is similar to what we had last year. I think it was $17,000 last year.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I think they've done an excellent job.
All right. Utilities reappraisals.
I sent this out, and I believe what you have is the memo that came from our assessor, which showed what the grand list was going to be. The first page is a lot of numbers, but the second page shows you what the increase is looking like right now is the $8 million plus. This of that is from the hydro facility. Just information more than anything else. You'll remember we retained the Sanssouci to do the evaluation here a year ago.
Yes.
For $22,000. This is his results. I think what Lisa believes is that probably the Green Mountain Power, this is what she's going to put in the change of appraisal. In fact, I think it's already gone out. She expects that Green Mountain Power will appeal to the audit or the listers, grieve to them. She's promptly going to turn them down. That means the Board of Civil Authority will have an opportunity to talk to them and do what they will. If the Board of Civil Authority turns them down, then they could resort to either the state appraisal division or to court. This is something that can be talked about in the future, but it's an $8 million plus on it. So this is just for information. I thought I was going to have an email from Lisa that I could have fired out to you. But what she said is what's on this page is her report for the grand list.
Okay. Anybody have anything to add? No? Yes? All right. COVID-19. Opening of the town office. First under that.
Greg?
So I can't see me, but in talking with the clerk, she's comfortable with leaving the doors open. They are sort of the first line of defense, I guess, and we're officially still closed to the public, but the doors are open. We are in the process of getting another what is it called?
Non-contact thermometer.
Non-contact thermometer. We do have, just like we have at the pool, that will, when we get that, we will check people's temperatures and make sure they're not symptomatic of any kind. But as of right now, we're just still going to stay closed, but we're open. So, yeah, I'm working on putting together sort of a flyer. Some of the other towns around have done a flyer that outlines the kind of currently where they're at and where each department's at and how things are functioning. I'll do something similar to that, and we'll put it on the door and we'll put it on the website and things like that, so people kind of understand where we're at this point. But yeah, so I think things are going pretty well. We're not seeing a whole lot of foot traffic in here. I don't know, Stan, how much we had over there, but we don't see a whole lot of people coming in anyway. So it hasn't really been
So are
an
people
issue.
still making appointments if they want to come in? even though the door's open, are they calling and saying, like, man?
The paralegals and
Okay, yeah.
the right-of-way people are.
Okay,
Right,
It's people who come in to pay the bill.
okay.
right. Yeah, then they
Right.
meet them. They meet them
Okay.
out at the trailer and they do their thing out
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So it's working really well. So we'll kind of continue that way until we find out, otherwise, or if we find that it's not working, we'll change it up.
Any questions? Okay, meeting location. So we've requested to use the library, and the board meets tomorrow night, correct, Lisa?
It's probably muted. He's muted.
Okay. So they meet tomorrow night, and they'll make a decision on whether or
Yes.
not we can use it. So we'll let everybody know.
Right. It's just at the last meeting, you were adamant you were not meeting. Excuse me?
I don't think anybody said anything.
At the last meeting, you were adamant you were not meeting at the library, so the board had no reason to meet other.
Right. But now they will reconsider it tomorrow.
Okay, whatever. You were,
At the last meeting, they didn't want it there, and then I requested it to be moved there. And so we got in touch, so now they're gonna meet on it tomorrow night, was my understanding. Correct? And decide if we can use it.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right, and if it
Yes.
is approved, then we will meet with Mary and just kind of, Greg and I, and just kind of go to how the standards have to be in that room.
We'll do what we can to try to meet. We'll make sure we can meet all the conditions if they
Yes.
if they grant us
Right.
access.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, the Proctor pool, we kind of talked about that already, but Stan included what the poster and the guidelines is going to look like. Did anybody have any questions regarding that? No? Okay. Town office renovation. Progress report? Dan, anything?
They are working on it. They've gutted the interior. I haven't been in, but maybe Tom has been in. We thought we had a problem with a water line going across where the new building would go. John found out this morning that Karis Reel is no longer attached to that line, and they are fed off of their fire service rather than off of a service connected in. So they killed the line today, and it can be dug up and disposed of, so it's no longer a problem.
Stan, somebody updates our maps, right, on all these things we find.
You know, the guys from the water sewer department, whenever they uncover something, they put swing ties on it to a physical location. Then they go into the 2000 right mapping system and put a correction on it. And then they scan that in. So
Okay,
it's in
good.
the documents, everything that they have found.
Yeah.
Or it's supposed to be in the documents, everything they found.
Interior, the old stairwell, the narrow one that went upstairs, they removed that. The building's basically an old original post and beam. Some of those were cut to get the stairwell in. They're going to bring in a structural engineer they were talking about to look at that and repair those beams. And underneath the stairs there's some ledge that protrudes out. It would be nice to get that out of there and get our full usage, but that's to be determined.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, grant agreement?
Along with the Greg's moving in is the resolution naming him as the authorized representative on our accessibility grant.
So is there a motion to add Greg?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that's something we all have to sign off on too.
Yes, I'm sure there's some other stuff we've got to sign too.
Ben wasn't on tonight, so I couldn't chastise him, but he is yet to sign anything that we did 2 weeks ago. So there'll be a new packet, one packet for him and then a new packet
Okay.
for all of you.
All right.
If he is sick, I'd be willing to bring it up and drop it off with, Albert and then pick it up in a few days or something.
That would work.
Sure, if you want, Tom.
Yeah, all right, well, I'll email Ben and see if he just was busy tonight or he is sick. I didn't get everything out of his email. Did you, Judy?
Well, I made a comment back to him, just him alone, and he wrote back and said he was just kidding. And then I emailed him back, but then I never heard from him. So I don't know if I have no idea.
I thought he was saying he was just kidding to a physical meeting rather than a Zoom meeting. That's what I got out of it. And that he had a severe case of bronchitis.
Right.
And
Okay.
I emailed him because of the parking ordinance and haven't heard back from him.
Remember.
All right. Thank you. All right. Do you want me to do it last or no?
No,
Okay.
do it now.
There's also the resolution that we need to sign and approve. Resolved that the Proctor Selectboard hereby authorizes town manager Stan Wilbur to execute any and all documents necessary to consummate the sale of 60 West Street and 50 Chatterton Park in Proctor, Vermont to T.W. Grace Incorporated. Resolved this 22nd day of June 2020. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second? Okay, Tom motion approved. We'll take Bruce's second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, resolution's approved. Okay, budget report.
Just backing up for a second. Do we have any future house sales planned here?
I don't think so, do we?
Tax sales?
I didn't hear you, Tom.
Future tax sales?
Okay, the tax bills probably.
No, tax sales. Future, do we have any future tax sales?
Tax sales. Mary had 3 other ones that she had planned on doing earlier this year, but with the shutdown, she hadn't got to them. The big one was not a big one, but the important one was the Burgess House,
Yes.
which we paid to set up the probate and get someone appointed to administer the property or the probate. And I haven't talked with Mary in a couple of weeks now, so I'm not sure whether she's still planning on anything or whether she's waiting for June 30th to see who is on the new delinquency list.
Okay. I would like to try and move forward with this. I bumped into the lawyer. He is back working. So hopefully Mary could be too.
But a lot of the ones that were on Mary's list have turned over in the last year. And so once they sell, then we have collected all the back property taxes as well as the water and sewer accounts.
Right. The Burgess one is the main one. That's costing us money. We need to get rid of that. And there seems to be an accident a year there.
Yes.
Okay, so we should start looking at those 3 properties and going forward.
I can touch bases with Mary and just find out
Okay, yeah,
what the
right,
status looks like.
okay.
There's one thing that the board may wish to consider sometime between now and next town meeting is eliminating the elected office of delinquent tax collector by eliminating that position. The duties automatically go to the town manager, to be the collector of delinquent taxes. Might be a little more efficient process that way because the town manager's in and out of here every day. So I might suggest you look at it between now and next town meeting. It has to be voted on by the voters.
Good suggestion. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, budget?
Any questions? We're getting close to the end. This is through June 20. What I will do, or what Greg will do, is after 2 weeks after the 1st of July, is to go back through and finalize the complete fiscal year. We always get invoices that have to be billed back to a prior year. Because what we do is any work that's performed in June has got to be charged in June, can't be charged in July. So we got a whole folder of invoices for work done in June that we pay in July. And as soon as that is complete, then I can give you a final report as to what the actuals on June 30th. If you remember, I made a projection here about 2 months ago where I thought we were going to be somewhere between 30 and 50,000 in the black. I haven't done it since then. It just made me feel comfortable that I know it was going to know that we were not going to be a deficit year. The other part of this is the revenue budget as to whether we are getting our property taxes and other payments in on a timely fashion. And I've talked with Celia briefly about it. We don't have a gut feeling. I mean, things have been rolling along reasonably smooth as far as people paying property taxes. So that's something that we'll put together again once the year is over by a couple of weeks so that we can come up with a good idea of where we stand. Tax bills will not go out until August sometime, with a first payment due 30 days after they go out. You will be looking at the tax rate sometime after the 1st of July as to what you need. So we're still a little behind a normal year. Normally you'd have a special meeting the first week in July to set the tax rate. I don't think we're going to be ready to do that this year. It's going to wait at least until you get the return of people grieving to the lister for the reappraisal, which the big one is Green Mountain Power. We don't want to set a tax rate until that one has been resolved.
Does anybody have any questions?
We appreciate you keeping us in the black, Stan. Thank you.
I have one question for Stan. If Green Mountain Power grieves and everyone denies and they go to court, is that something you have to hire a different attorney for, or your local town attorney can handle that grievance?
I think that's something the board would need to assess. Probably you would want a specialist in tax appeals rather than a generalist that we have for the town attorney.
And would it be reasonable to find out what that cost was?
I'm sure you can get an estimate of what it is, but first of all, we got to see what the Green Mountain Power presents as evidence at both the lister's grievance and the Board of Civil Authority. I think it's a little early to try to estimate what the cost may be for the legal fees.
I was just basing it on your analysis that everyone was denying and you anticipated them going to court.
Yes.
I'm sure it won't be cheap.
Well, for $8 million more in taxes, we're willing to spend a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, Sheriff Department report. Any questions on that?
I did send a email to the sheriff because in putting together the report, although it starts as June 3rd, there was nobody in Proctor on June 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Also, the total hours at the end came up at 53.78 for the 2-week period. I asked him to check on his schedule and what he has for the total for the year of time charged against Proctor. I haven't heard back from him. The other thing that we had requested before was a schedule, coverage schedule, and I have not seen that. So
I'm shocked.
Greg can jack him up on that.
Business as usual.
Is there anything else, old or new business?
The,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Carrie.
I was just going to ask about Warren and if, as a town, we were going to do anything, or as a select board.
For who?
For who?
Didn't I just see Warren in the obituaries? Is that the same
Oh, I
Warren?
didn't even see that.
Yes.
That was, the funeral was today.
Oh my God.
So are we going to do something as a select board or as a town? I kind of feel like we should.
He was a hell of a road commissioner for years.
Right.
I believe, Terry, that there was a charity that was referenced in the obituary.
No,
I'll look into that.
there's not one.
There isn't?
No,
No.
but maybe
Okay.
we could write something up for the town report.
Yep, definitely.
And then maybe, I don't know, get them a meal, ask them what we should probably do a little something, even if it's just order them a meal to have.
I agree.
sometime.
Yes.
So Judy, you'll take
Right.
care of that?
Yeah, I will. Thank you. for
Thank
letting me
you.
know.
There
Okay.
weren't many people from town at the funeral.
Yeah.
Anything else? Tom, did you have something?
Can we get back on the junk car issue? We've been off it for months now, and
For the next meeting?
yes, that would be
Okay.
great.
All right.
We've got that liquor license to sign. Can all those be put together and then send out an email when they're ready for everyone to come in and sign? I know there's 3 or 4 of them, I believe. Different things we've got to sign for.
They'll all be ready for signature by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
So about the junk car thing, I just want to make sure that there's a means to get rid of them, because I know that at least with the solid waste district, there's a lot of things you can't bring there yet. So maybe we should check with like Rosen's or whomever you would take your car to and make sure they're taking them, because I would hate to bother somebody when they can't take it anywhere.
I can give him a call and I'll email everybody. Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Thanks, Tom. Anything else anybody has?
What about, I know A&R was here today and they looked at the car in the creek. Did they come to the town office?
No?
Nope.
Wow.
They came here.
Did they say anything to you? Maybe we could follow up with them.
Yeah, we were here all day and
Who was it? Was it Angie from A&R?
No.
Did they say anything to you, Lisa, about?
Yeah, they came, that's how I knew they were here. They came in to talk about the car and what anyone was doing about the car. So maybe following up with them tomorrow
up
might
to
be a good
us.
idea.
So did we hear back from the governor's office? I know
No.
this has been a topic.
The letter went out, last December, November. The only person we heard back from was the Green Mountain Power. I did not hear anything from the governor or the secretary of the environmental agency.
Okay, so we should follow up with them. Number 1 on the junk car list.
Exactly.
All right. Does anybody else have anything else to add? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion
So
to adjourn.
moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion adjourned. Or
Thank you,
meeting adjourned.
everybody.
Sorry about that.